Hi everyone, welcome to your live teacher. Today I'm with a really special guest. You know, guys, I love to spend time with people that teach me good things so I can learn. So I'm with Yat Palat. Say hi.
Hey
He
everyone.
tell us what is like your specialist, what you do that the people want to know more about you. What?
Yeah. Well, I am a relationship and inner child specialist. And what that really means is that I help study people's relationships, study their lives. Most of my clients who come to me are suffering from like lower self esteem. They've lost belief in themselves. They've had relationships with a lot of rejection and abandonment, key things. So they tend to attach to someone because they think someone else will love them and make them feel special. Someone else or a job or something else will make them feel valuable. But that means they've lost the connection with themselves. So I help them try to understand, not like a conventional therapist, like, oh, what's going on? Why do you feel bad? Let's fix it. I go back to the source. Like, what is it inside your the root of your nervous system, your mind, your inner child, that makes you do what you do before you even think about it? Why do you attract the same kind of partners over and over again, or the same kind of like relationships or pain over and over again? I help them break them down and fall back in their life, love with life
That's
again.
amazing because I need it, to be honest. Like,
We all do, I think.
I think that everybody in our lives, we have like traumas in our childhood, and that we don't fix them. And after we start to have problems in our relationships,
Right.
I see many of my friends, including myself, right? That we all these traumas that we had when we was kids, like with our mom, with our dad,
Yeah.
all these really affect us when we are older,
Yeah.
and we need really sometimes to tell to our inner child, I'm sorry because I let you accept
Yeah.
these things, and how we can like start to like to fix this. I think the most important is to know that you're like making it wrong.
Yes, I think there's a science behind it
Yeah.
because most of us, we only know the story behind it that,
Yeah.
oh, there's a little child. Actually, the inner child represents something real in your brain called the subconscious mind.
Yes.
Now, everything, the way we're talking
Yeah.
now, it's all only happening from the conscious mind, the
Yeah.
forebrain. This is the part of the brain that's very reactive, the part of the brain that's very calculative, the part of the brain that's very good for, like, either creating relationships with people, etc., and even more, knowing who I am as a person.
Yes.
That's the forebrain. So that's why now we dress a certain way, we act a certain way, all of that stuff. But when you're born as a little child, you don't have this at all.
At all, yeah.
You only have the back part of your brain, which is the reptilian brain, the hind brain, the subconscious brain. Now, this part of your brain is entirely about just an emotional self. So, in this time, because you don't have the front part of your brain that says, this is who you are, this is what you are like, how do you know who you are?
Yeah.
You observe how the people around you treat you.
Yes.
And based on that, you say, this is who I am, this is what I'm worth. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Now, you're a 2-year-old girl,
Yes.
right? And you love your dad. All you want is for him to hug you and care for you when he comes home from work. But let's say your dad, maybe he fought in a war. Let's say your dad, his father used to beat him and say, don't have emotions, don't hug people, etc. You
Yeah.
don't know that. Like, you're a kid, you don't have the logical reasoning, right?
Yeah,
That's the forebrain.
exactly.
So you go run to Papi and you're like, Papi, un abrazo. You ask him
Yes.
for a hug. But Papi doesn't know how to hug you. It's inside him. He just doesn't know how to be warm and love you and pick you up. So now in this moment, you're this warm girl full of life and love, pure like God made you. And you run up to this person who's like a wall and you hit the wall like this.
Yeah.
And as a child, you look at this and you don't know, oh, yeah, of course my dad is not emotional because his
Yeah.
dad was not emotional. Maybe my dad has some trauma, something else. No. You just think in your head, my dad is not emotional because maybe there's something wrong with me. So you make this moment where
Yeah.
your father can't love you something about you. So then your autoestima, your self-esteem, your self-worth says, I must not be lovable enough, and that's why my dad is not hugging me, because he should. It's normal. I'm born into this world expecting this.
Yes,
So
of
that's the
course.
first time in your life you think, maybe I'm not good enough. So then you start thinking, okay, what can I do to just get daddy's attention, even a little bit? And you notice that when you come home from school with a C in your report card, daddy just ignores you. He doesn't even have to hit you. Trauma is not about someone hitting you or abusing you. It's just about someone neglecting you, not even giving you, this is what I teach my students, not giving you what your needs are as a little girl: love, validation, security.
Attention also.
Yeah, exactly. So in
Wow.
this moment, the science behind it is that your subconscious mind, it saves this moment. It saves this moment and says, I'm not good enough. Something must be wrong with me. I'm not lovable enough. That's why people don't love me. Now, as you go through that time with your father or your mother or somebody else, again, you see it happening more and more. So now you make this true about you. Your definition of yourself. You can say, for example, yeah, it's Anna Paula. I'm good looking, I'm charming, etc. But the truth is, my subconscious mind thinks I'm not good enough to be loved. So
Yeah.
now I keep attracting partners who they give me love on the surface just a little bit, and they say, I love you, baby, I'll take you around the world, I'll do this, I'll marry you, I'll do whatever. And on the surface, it's so perfect. You're like, okay, this is amazing, it's coming. And you run like an honest little person, and then boom, they reject you again. And they abandon you, they leave you, they choose someone else. Because everything reminds you of the same story, that I'm not worthy of being loved.
Wow,
So,
this I'm really getting like so identified with this because actually I have a story like that. Like my dad, he was with us till I was 6 years old,
okay.
and he left us
Oh, wow.
like when I was six. Until now, he's not my dad. Like
Wow.
he never wanted to spend time with me or to be my dad, and I accepted. Of course, was very hard for me for a
Yeah.
long time, cause I was thinking why he don't love me, but he don't know how to love himself.
Right.
So it's not my problem. So that's why I forgive him. And last, even like 6 months ago, I tried to see him again, and he say,
Wow.
"No, I don't have time." Okay, it's fine. Like before, I was crying or I was getting really hurt, but now I
You
really see
understand.
that the way that he love, he don't know how to love,
Yeah.
because his parents also didn't teach him to how to love. So that's why I let go this
Idea.
trauma. But in my relationships,
Yeah.
yeah, like I wasn't. I was scared to be abandoned. That's why I always broke up with them first.
Right.
Because I was feeling like, no, they are not giving me enough attention anymore. They are not like as the beginning. Like they come, they love bomb you, and after I
Yes.
was thinking that they wasn't like that, but was they love me, but I didn't. I was thinking they wasn't loving me anymore.
Right.
So I broke up, and
Right.
I changed, and I go and I try to find again
Yeah.
this excitement again, this love
Yes.
again. So I've been trying to work with this. I've been the last year with a very toxic relationship, and I never expect to be in this relationship. Like I never expect that someone that you help a lot in their worst times like will just like left you like that. And
It's go on.
yeah, sorry. And I was like, I think I wanted to abandon this person. I wanted to left. I wanted to
Yeah.
break up, but something in me, because this person was not. This person was sick. I couldn't do it. So I was feeling guilty. And at the end, the thing that I was scared to happen from my dad happened
Happened.
again. So I was so like I was
Hurt.
going mental, because
Crushed.
I like it's like you have a scar from your dad, and when they open it again
Yes. And again and
and again,
again and
it's
again.
like wow, like I
Yeah.
was going crazy. After that, I start to work, because I work too much in myself. I work too much with energies, with God, with everything. So after I start to see like, Anna, it's not your problem. You give the best of you in this relationship. You give the best. This person doesn't know how to love even himself.
Right.
So what you gonna expect of someone that
Yeah.
doesn't know how to love himself or
But here's a
to
more
offer?
powerful question, which we don't realize. This is what comes from the subconscious
Uh-huh.
mind. Why am I choosing people who don't know how to give me the best when I am giving my best?
Yeah.
That is where my job comes in. Is that there's something deeper than just saying, I've had so many people. I had this friend, very beautiful friend, who she attracted this guy,
Yeah.
fell in love with him, and then he got sick. And he was in hospital for like 3 years
Oh,
or 4
same as
years.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was with him and she stayed. And I said, it's not your responsibility to be there for him. You're not his mother. You're not his blood relative. She's like, no, I have to love him. I have to take care of him. And especially women have this guilt that they should accept less than they deserve, and they should stay because they've seen their moms and their parents and their families do the same thing.
Yes.
So then they stay, they stay, they stay. And throughout, it's such a hard question to say, did I choose a man who was sick or did I choose a man who fell sick? And when you come to me, I always tell people your subconscious mind, that's the most powerful thing in your life, because law of manifestation, everything, it's all here. It's not
Yeah.
here. This is like 2% of
Yeah.
your life existence. We think it's everything because this is when we're awake. But this is the part that determines everything. You already attracted a man who is sick or going to be sick, because it was an opportunity for you to prove yourself as being someone who could love someone, who could take someone, and hoped that he would choose you. That's why you stayed. Because you hoped this time would be different. That maybe this guy would stay, and if he stayed and he loved you through the end, then you are finally Ana Paula, the beautiful girl who deserves to be loved. But maybe the same story happened
I
again.
don't know it was like that because you know what happened. I'm gonna be very
Yeah,
honest here.
please.
I'm a person that now I'm working on this, but I'm someone that I can't be alone for so long.
You
Right?
can't or
I
can?
can't. So when I met this person, before I was broken a relationship, for like 2 years relationship. So we broke up. I was tired. I came here to Dubai and I met this person, right? So it was like take to take,
Of
just to
course.
forget.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know how happened. I don't know how this come to me, but I was like, well, let's give a chance. Let's see. And of course, at the beginning, everything was roses.
Right.
I was like, wow, this person is so good. Like, I was shocked, like, I was really like shocked after everything started to change. And I wanted to leave the relationship, but I was feeling guilty.
That's
I was
exactly what I
like,
said.
no, how I'm gonna leave this person? This person need me. The karma is gonna get back to me. How
But
you gonna leave a person in the worst? Because
But
that's
wouldn't a high worth person say to themselves, oh, yeah, I'm so worthy of God's love, I'm so worthy of amazing things that I wish this person my best, but I don't have to stay here until I go all the way down, get tired, stay, prove something. If this is not giving me love, I'll move on. And this person will find, this is an interesting thing about givers. You stay because you don't think someone else can come and love him. Maybe they could. Maybe after you left, he could have had someone even better who wanted to be there, love him. But it comes back to how we feel in that moment, saying, if I don't stay, what kind of person am I? That you
That's
said, the
what
guilt.
happened to me all the time. Even
Right.
in my past relationship, he was going through a hard situation, and I couldn't like leave him. I was feeling guilty, but I
Yeah.
was being so miserable myself.
Exactly. So you basically are saying to us, which is what we do, by the way, as
Yeah.
human beings, you put yourself second to his needs, right? Now,
Yes.
someone who really, really loves themselves, truly loves themselves, do you think, okay, one time or two times they can put themselves second to help the relationship, but do you think they always put themselves second to somebody else? Then I
Nah.
don't love myself itself. So what kind of love am I giving you?
Exactly.
Exactly.
And you know what? I'm like that, and because I'm telling you, I work a lot on myself, and now I think that I'm in this period. I know it was fast, but I really work on myself this last, this last year, because this relationship I finished 1 year ago. So this year I was going to many things, but I was working a lot on myself, and after I start to see, I need to be first. I'm sorry if I'm selfish, but
Yeah.
I need to be first. I'm my priority.
Yeah.
Because I grew up seeing my mom and my grandmother always doing everything for my grandfather. Like they was
Yeah.
not living their life to give to my grandfather. So
Right.
I grew up seeing that. So like
Exactly.
automatically I say to myself, I need to be like this. And my mom, she always called me, no, you need to be like that. How you gonna leave this person? That. But okay, I'm with a person, but
I need to be loved in return.
not even love. I'm making myself die because
Yeah.
the situation that I'm living with these people is not the situation I want to be. I want to be happy. I want to be with someone that elevate me, that make me
Yes.
better person. And these people, they are just giving me bad energy, and they are just putting me down.
Exactly.
Because this person I was that was sick was just always attacking me non-stop. Like all his anger was giving to
Yes.
me.
Same as my friend, I was telling you, the
So
same
my
thing.
vibration go down.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be in this relationship, but I was feeling guilty.
Yeah. And it's interesting because guilt is a very easy way to justify an autoestima, a self-worth that's hurting. Because a lot of women, a lot of people say, oh, I'm guilty, I can't leave, I'm guilty, I can't do something, because they're actually really afraid what happens if I choose myself. Will my parents be ashamed of me and say, what kind of person are you? You chose yourself, you didn't care about us, you didn't care about something. Will society judge me for that? Will I judge myself for choosing myself?
Yeah.
Is someone who really loves themselves, and this is what I had to learn for myself, just as you, someone who really loves themselves will not be afraid of that. Because when someone really loves themselves, this is going to take it to a little spiritual angle. I think you might be Christian, no? Because I also saw a
Yes.
cross around your neck once,
Yes.
and you're also Mexican.
Yes.
In Christianity, they say you can't kill yourself. That's the worst sin, right? Because God has given you life. So if you take it away, you're basically like destroying God's gift that He gave you. But I'm also Christian, by the way. But the other bad side of that is that your whole life in Christianity, they always tell you you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, you should love them, then you'll be good. You should do this, then you'll be good. So at the same time, they're telling you you are not good enough, but they're also saying, but if you feel so bad about yourself that you kill yourself, something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Why not instead say you are so good? Why not start prayers with say, I am worthy to receive God, but I just want to clean myself so it can happen. Instead of saying, I'm not worthy to receive God, if you just say the word, I'll be healed. You know, that word in Spanish, I can't remember the prayer. But the point of why I'm saying that is a lot of our culture, to keep us in control, this actually is something in sociology. It's very natural for human beings to tell the next generation, if you don't do this, you're bad.
Yes.
So by doing that, we keep people in control. In some ways, it's healthy. Everybody goes in a straight line and, they're doing what they need to do. But what it does for a person's self-esteem is it keeps reducing it. It
Yes.
keeps decreasing it. If your mom or, your dad or your people in your life, the women, let's say, if their fathers, so if your father told you from when you were young, Ana Paula, you are a fucking queen. You are my princess. And I will never let you have anything less than you deserve. Then I can take you and I can put you in the same situation with that guy, and you will say, oh my God, God bless you, I hope you get better, but this is not my journey with you.
Yes.
And this is why it's so essential. This is another part of my work. It's so essential, the roles that fathers play in a daughter's life and the roles that mothers play in a son's life. This is in statistics, in relationship statistics, this is the number one factor that influences a future relationship. Your marriage and everything is actually determined by your relationship with your father or a
Wow.
girl's relationship with her mother, because that's the time when your subconscious mind was the most active, from 0 to 18, right? At 18, this closes, this opens.
Yeah.
That's why they say at 18 you can drink, be an adult, make your decisions, you can vote, because this is open, logical reasoning. But this now is closed. So everything that's you're doing is a repetition of everything that was there before it was closed.
Wow.
So, if what happens if you have the opposite? A father figure is always there. I'll be really honest with you. My wife is 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying this because she can hear it and she's in the room, but it's true. She is one of the best teachers to me always on how to be a man for my daughter, because her self-worth is so high. If even with her job, she's a model, even with her job, if someone says, oh no, we'll pay you less for this, or come on another day, she'll be like, no. And sometimes I say, like, why can't you be flexible? I call the word flexible, right? And she's like, why should I do something that's less than my worth? I'm not going to do it. And in that moment, she may lose that job. So everybody else is like, see, you lost the job because you were not flexible. She's like, it's okay, because something better always comes for her, always.
True.
And I was never like that. I was the opposite. I came very similar from you, where I had a fear of rejection very strong. So I worked so hard, always proving myself, always doing, controlling things. And I was so afraid that if I don't do it perfect, someone will not love me. So I always am like, okay to like be flexible or something else, as long as I make everybody happy. And then when I met her, I realized I'm losing my life energy. And she is such a good example for me, even though she's 10 years younger, that I have to learn to love myself again to have this standard, because she had a father who, no matter what, was always there for her. So when we met, it was the same. She's like, if you can't love me, fuck off, I'll find someone else. And I was so shocked, because I was like, this person is not trying to prove themselves. They're not trying to earn my love. They're like, someone else will love me. I don't need you to hang around or prove myself to you. If you can't do it, someone else can. That makes you admire that person more, because they're valuable now. They're in the top 3% of society with high confidence, whereas most of us are in the 97% of people who are trying to say, no, I love you, I'll stay, I'll take care of you, I'll buy you things, I'll do this, please love me back.
I'm shocked with you because I think it's true. I had she's not my friend anymore, but she was a girl that was my best friend. She was not pretty or something. Sorry, I cannot say who's
No, no,
pretty, or not,
no, that's
but she
okay.
was not some like a supermodel.
Right.
That's why I say. But she always think that she was the best.
Mm-hmm.
Always, 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 always.
Yeah.
I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. I was always thinking this girl is delusional.
Mm-hmm.
This girl is not normal in the head.
Mm-hmm.
No,
According
me.
to me.
Yeah, no,
Right.
like she was saying things that I was being like, wow, this girl, she's delusional. But
Right.
after she really believed it and she become like what she wanted to become,
Yeah.
everything
Exactly.
what she wanted, she got it. And I
Exactly.
was like, wow, because she always, I
Yeah.
remember like guys wanted to invite her for
Yes.
dinners, and she was like, oh, this dress, okay, maybe she was a little bit arrogant, but she's like,
Right.
if you don't invite me to dinner to this restaurant, no. And even the guys was like, what she thinks she is?
Right.
But after she got someone that got her to this restaurant.
Right. And that's the question is you also said she was a little bit arrogant. She was arrogant to who? To us. Because
Yes.
for us, that's not allowed. We can never be
Yeah.
like that. But was she really arrogant or did she just have a high standard for herself that maybe we're not used to? That's what I think of my wife, actually. Even at home, very often, I'm like, who does she think she is? That, like, she's just like someone else will take care of her or something else. But it always happens. She always gets what she wants. And sometimes it makes me angry because I'm like, how is this girl who doesn't work as hard as me or whatever, how does she get what she wants? But the working hard is the belief, you know?
Yes.
There's this movie which I love and I tell all my clients to watch. It's called I Feel Pretty.
Yeah.
And in this movie, there's this lady, this actress, she's a comedian. Her name is Amy Schumer. She's a little bigger, you know,
Yeah.
and she hates how she looks and her body, etc.
Ah, yeah, this movie
You
I
seen
saw.
it?
Yeah, yeah.
The one where she hits her
Yeah,
head?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but what I love about it, and I tell my clients is, the first half of the movie is how she hates her life and how she hates herself. She goes to the gym with all these good looking girls on the spin class and she's like, I feel terrible, I feel terrible. She slips and hits her head. And then in the mirror, she only sees a good looking girl. So suddenly she thinks, I'm so good looking.
Yes.
So she constantly thinks to herself, I'm so good looking, and just use the right word, delusional.
Yes.
Because everybody else is like, what's wrong with this girl? Like everybody else is like conscious and she's like, I don't care because I'm so good looking. Suddenly she gets promotions. Suddenly she gets people wanting to take her on dates.
Even a
Suddenly she
date,
gets the attention.
the
Yeah,
date.
exactly. She gets a date, a higher quality people, everything. Because in that moment, what she believes of herself, actually, that is really when someone's connected to God. When they believe of themselves the way God really made them, which is pure, loving, worthy. God didn't make us to feel unworthy. God didn't make us to feel less than, to prove ourselves. He didn't. That's how we make each other.
Yes.
He made us to feel so worthy, and when we're so worthy, God just, manifestation happens like this. Because you're so in line with God, you know?
Exactly. But you know what happens sometimes? I will also talk about my personal experience.
Please.
Because I didn't have a dad. I don't know. I'm trying to work in this. You know,
No,
it's
of
really hard.
course.
But you know, my dad he never like provide for me or something. So always I was like accepting bad treatments
Yes.
because I was with people that was providing for me.
Yes.
Because I was like, oh no, maybe I'm really like comfortable. My lifestyle is good, so it's fine. I will let. What's gonna happen? Like
Yeah.
I'm really. What do you think about this? Like because many of the girls now in these times they accept all these treatments because they are with rich mans or something.
Yes.
So I wanna know if what is like. What do you think about this situation?
That's a great question. And first, I want to say something to you, really, because I'm a father recently,
Yes.
so I know what it's like. I mean this from my heart. And I'm not saying this for the cameras, the videos. I don't know if I'll meet you again or not. I just want to say from me to you, I'm really sorry that your dad was not there.
No, it's
Because I sit with my own baby sometimes, and when she laughs and giggles and stuff, sometimes I think, like, even my wife and me were talking the other day, and we said a prayer for all the little babies who don't have dads. Because you know the statistics also on when a kid doesn't have a mother, it's weird, but the statistics for a girl are less dangerous than when she doesn't have a father.
Yes.
Because a father provides her protection, security, provision, all the things that she needs so she can be a woman.
Yes.
Think about a woman as a rose, right?
Yes, yes.
It needs a thorn. Because
Yeah.
if the thorn is not there, people will brush the rose and it'll break and break.
Yes.
So if she has another rose there, it's fine. She learns some things. But if she has a thorn, she can be herself.
Yes.
So many girls, they don't know their value and their worth because they didn't have that protection around them. And so most of my clients are women. Actually, almost all my clients are women who've had difficult relationships with their fathers or they've
Yes.
not been there. So I just want to say first, I'm sorry because I know what that can do. And
It's
I'm
very
proud of
hard.
you for working on yourself, you
Yeah,
know?
before I was crying every time I hear this
Yeah.
subject, but I was start to hate man at one point. I was
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
I was hating them. I was like, I'm just gonna use them,
Yeah.
and I just gonna use them
Yes.
for what benefits me.
Yes. And that's actually, it's so beautiful that you admit that,
Yeah,
because that talks about the truth. Like in my job, if I want to be good at what I do, I
yeah,
can't have judgment.
yeah.
So when women tell me I hate men or I use men, I'm like, okay, good. Let's understand why. Let's understand why you can't be a woman who uses a man and is loved by a man. You deserve both. You deserve
Exactly.
to have both. But why is it only this part is working? Let's try and understand that. And like you said, you asked that question, and actually, this links to something else you said. I was watching one of your videos and I liked it,
Yeah.
where you said, why is it that women today are so attached to their Instagram and the
Yes.
validation they get from their Instagram?
Yeah.
Who are the women who do it? And actually, even I learned something from that when
Yeah.
I was looking at it. It's all the women who are either unmarried or still wanting someone to take care of them,
Yes.
really.
True.
So the essence is they want to be taken care of. Actually, that feels like love to a woman. That when they're
Yes.
taken care of, when they're protected by a healthy man, not a man who abuses them, right?
No.
That's
No.
one
No. Of
side.
course.
But on the other side also, if a man, and this is a really powerful subject and a concept, if a man cheats on a woman, cheats by
Yeah.
sleeping with other women,
Yeah.
it's actually less damaging, it's less bad than if he doesn't take care of the woman that he's chosen. If he doesn't protect her, he doesn't provide her, he doesn't give her the safety of a house or everything else, that is actually more cheating, in my opinion, because our needs as men and women are different. So when it comes to all of the girls today who are trying to use men, it's because they're just little girls who want to be loved. And how are they loved? By being taken care of. So because they didn't have a good or healthy dad to do it, they choose all these men who are typically older, right? Typically
Yeah.
older with a lot of money, etc.,
Yes.
that they feel like they can use. I don't even think it's a bad thing. It's just not done in the right way because they don't know how. They don't know how to
Exactly.
choose the right man.
And like what happened to me is like, because I told you I work a lot of myself, so I was like observing myself. I was like, why I'm like this, why I like this. Because one of the ways I feel loved is being taken care
Of
of.
course, all women.
Like, because I have this trauma from my childhood. My dad was not taking care of me.
Yes.
So like I connect now, and I was like, oh wow, like when a man is really like providing for me, I feel like I have a man.
Yes,
But they take it
exactly.
in a wrong way, and they're just like, why you don't do it for yourself? Look, I'm an independent person. I
Right.
have my business and everything. But of course, I want someone also that can like make me feel a woman
Right,
safe.
of course. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you ever ask a lion why it doesn't lay eggs? Why it doesn't make eggs? Does anybody ask a lion that? No,
No,
right? Does anybody ask a chicken why it doesn't protect the whole animal kingdom? No.
because he's not a lion.
Exactly. So a chicken does its chicken's job, a lion does a lion's job. But in our generation today in society now, we're trying to equate and men and women are both extremely powerful, but they're not the same.
Of
They
course.
are equal beings created by God, but they're not the same. So a healthy man will know that it's his responsibility to take care of his wife, his kids, his family, and how he does it is through his work, his kingdom. Actually, that's what builds a man's worth. In fact, statistics show that a man's relationship with his job, if it's a good relationship, it improves his testosterone.
Yes,
So it
exactly.
makes him more like a man,
Yes,
because that's his
true.
value and his worth. And God created that so that he can take this, give it to his family, and say, this is my contribution. But the problem is that we are not appreciating enough a woman's contribution to modern day society.
Yes.
Because our societies, Dubai is unfortunately, that's why I don't live here, but unfortunately, it's copying a lot of the stories of the Western world because it's growing like that.
Yeah.
Lots of money, fast buildings, fancy cars like the US, everything. In this world, the value of money is more than the value of warmth, nurturing, comfort, love, safety. Those many things are what women give you. They give you such a woman. For me, like I say this to my wife all the time, the smell of like just being around a woman, a voice of a little girl's voice in your house or anything,
Yes.
it just, for a man, it makes you feel safe. But we have ignored all this. So we're saying, if you're a woman and you're not making money, then what's your worth now? You're not worth anything. Why can't you go do it for your own? Why do you need me to take care of you? You go get a job. You go make money. But that's because as a society, we are forgetting the value of women.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem here. I'm sure you as a Latina coming here can see the difference
Too
between
much.
Mexico and here.
Too much. Well, you live in Mexico. Like I
Yeah.
come here to Dubai, and Mexicans are really like most of Mexicans. Well, not all,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
most Mexicans are really like they're always asking you all the time. Did you eat? Did I send you food? You need something? They open you the door. They
Yes.
always. They are really good
Yes.
gentlemen. I come
Yes.
here and I date European guys and stuff, and they are really completely like different.
Individual. They care about themselves, and you're
They
just a plus one. You're
exactly.
not part of it.
No. So I'm like,
It's
what is this like?
yeah.
But you know what? Like, the thing also is like here in this, well, in Dubai, is too many girls and too many men. And like I feel that everyone here and everyone in the world, we try to look for things that make us like feel because
Yeah.
all they are empty.
Yeah.
All my friends
Absolutely.
that I know, look, most of them, they don't feel like happy. Like
Yeah.
here, everything is. I'm also like this sometimes, Like I
Same.
love. Sometimes I try to be all the time less materialistic,
Yeah.
but
It's
uh,
hard.
it's hard, especially
Yeah.
here, because like I say
Yes.
no. Look, like now I don't want to be materialistic anymore. Like I'm gonna like detach of this, and after I start to like, of course, also is depends too much of your surrounding, like.
Of
But
course.
here I surround like most of the time with girls that all the time they talk about bags and watches
Yeah.
and so in my subconscious all this enters. So sometimes I'm
Yes.
like, oh, why I don't have this, or I can get
Yeah.
more, I can get this. Like, okay, it's nice to be ambitious, but at the end of the day, as I told you, this don't give you the happiness
Yeah.
100%. And everybody, they think like, man, they think that having more woman they're gonna feel good, and girls,
Right.
they think they having
Need more
more
things.
bags or more
Yeah.
watches they're gonna feel good. And at the end of the day, you go, you get a new girl after you want other one because you don't get like
Yeah.
fully like good. And the same with the girls, you get a new bag, new watch, and after you want the other
More.
one. So
Right.
it's like a
It's
how
a
is
cycle of like trying to fill
vicious
an empty
cycle, yeah.
space. Yeah.
Yes.
But that's the thing is that we've all been there. Even
Yes.
for me, I used to live in the US and then
Yeah.
now I live in Mexico for a very strong reason because I used to be like that, where
Yeah.
I was addicted to my job.
Yeah.
And a man being connected to his job, very important, but when he's addicted to his job, it's bad because he
Yeah.
ignores his family, he ignores the people who he loves at
Yeah.
home, and his only obsession is like value, worth, making money.
Yeah.
And when I was in that place, I realized that I was also just doing it to fill a hole. I didn't love myself enough, and I was afraid I was not good enough with who I am, so I was like, I have to have this job. You take the guys who, like, literally, so many of my clients also will say, I need to have the girls because having these type of girls makes me look some way. But what about how you look at yourself? What about how you feel about yourself? Same for the women, right? It is so important for women to have the bags, the watches, all that to some amount, for sure, because that makes them feel like they are taken care of by a man,
Yeah.
right? But when they keep needing this, then it's because they've never also had a healthy man give them both to the right quantity. In the same way, a healthy man or a man has never had a healthy woman give them that level of nourishing and love from their mothers.
Yeah.
So they are like, okay, I want this woman, I'll use it and then I'll go. I want this woman, I'll use it and go. But I'll tell you something. You sit with those guys and you talk to them in their penthouses with their Lamborghinis and everything, and all of them, when they're having a drink and they're being honest, they'll tell me, yeah, you have no idea how fucking lonely I am.
Yeah.
It's so sad. Like I look outside of this world and I own all of those buildings, and I've had people tell me the same. They'll be like, I have all these things, I look back these cars, but then when I go to bed at night, like my bed is always cold. It's never warm.
And they feel lonely.
Yes.
They have like too much, like people, they're addicted to cigarette, to alcohol,
Yeah.
because they don't know. I know very wealthy people here, and I have I spend time with these people, and I came to their houses. I see they have Bugatti, they have
Yeah.
Rolls Royce, they have a mansion, they have all what you like people can think that
Think
is
about,
happening, happiness. And after that, I look at how they act, and they are always like partying, drinking, this,
Yeah.
that, this woman, this, like showing off. Like I say, like you have already everything. Like why you're not happy? Why you still like going, finding like
Yeah.
distractions that are just killing yourself?
Yeah. Sometimes when I drive on the carretera, that's the
Yeah.
highway in Mexico, and I look at like the ranchero sitting on like the side, like he just finished his work with the farming the tequila,
Yeah.
and he's watching the sunset, and he's not using his phone, he's not doing anything. He is so much at peace. Sometimes I used to think for myself, man, I want to be like that guy. He has so
Yeah.
much less money than me. He has so much less like facilities. He's not seen anything in the world, but he's learned to love and be happy with himself. And I think that in this fast-paced world, no, especially with Instagram and all of these things, we're always wanting something else because inside we're not in love with ourselves.
Yes.
So all those things, alcohol, drugs, sex, money, whatever, they're all trying to fill a hole, but the hole is like it's like a never-ending hole.
Yes.
How much can you do to fill it? And then you ask all the CEOs, all the guys who are in their 70s, 80s who died. I used to love um, Steve Jobs,
Yeah.
who ran Apple. And in his book, the last few lines he said is he talked about everything the way he did it, and it's almost like the last few lines he said, "Don't do it like me," because I lost my love of my daughter, my wife. I was alone for so
He
long.
was sick.
Yeah, and they were not there. They came back to take care of him, but in the beginning, no one was there because he pushed them away.
Yeah.
So in this world, like in my job, we call all of these things addictions. Like I used to be addicted to sex. So we
Wow.
call these things drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling. We call them coping mechanisms.
Yes.
We don't call them addictions, which means when someone comes and tells me, yeah, I have this addiction, I'm like, okay, that's actually not a problem at all. The reason is the real problem. And so I go inside to say, what is the trauma in their life that makes them want to use alcohol, drugs, sex, whatever, to hide this trauma, to run away from it,
Yes.
to be away from it, to dissolve it.
Yeah.
And if you can fix that, then a person doesn't need these things because
Yes.
these things then just become like other things on the surface, you know? I've seen like the book, the guy, the monk who sold his Ferrari.
Yeah, yeah, I know
Right?
this
Like,
book, yeah.
I mean, there's so much in this world where a lot of people are getting to richness, are realizing actually this is not fulfilling me. There's something else, a spiritual journey, learning about myself, connecting to my wife, maybe so many things. But when they start learning that more, everything outside is just not a distraction, it's just a add-on, you know?
Everything is like, I was reading a book. I always say about this book because I think it's one of my favorites. The 5 a.m. Club.
Okay.
It's
I
like
haven't seen.
a
Oh, the 5 a.m. club.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
billionaire guy that he was saying that what he was a super billionaire, but at the end he was sick, you know, and what was making him happy was to teach other people to find their peace. So I think that it's nice to be selfish, but also I think that if we can help other people to become better versions of themselves, is something that we are here to do it. I think that's what are you do. You that's what you do.
Yeah,
You-
you know what's interesting? Because people always tell me that and they're like, oh my God, Yats, you're saving so many people. And here's the truth. I had to learn to love myself so much that I actually don't do this to save other people. When I used to do it to save other people, I was not doing it correct.
Yeah.
But I learned to do this so much that every time I speak to someone, like even now, I'm learning something that I can take back to practice with me. So every time I sit with a client, I sit with somebody else. When you learn to love yourself, you naturally become someone who can take care of other people. You become a good
Yes.
dad, a good wife, a good friend, a good teacher, a good boss, whatever. But the ultimate baseline for me always is you must learn yourself and what it takes to love yourself. Because everything else then around starts to change. Even the way I was doing my job, I've been doing this for like quite a few years now. And last year, I had like a team of like almost 12 people working for me, and they were all around the world, and like, you know, the Instagram, all that stuff. And something happened, and I felt like I am just not really myself in this. So I made a spontaneous decision. I let go of everybody. I work all on my own right now, which is why I'm very bad at responding to messages and all
Yeah.
that stuff. But in doing that, I've become so much at peace. I came back to who I really am. I don't care about the Instagram and like whether people like it or not or whatever. And in the same way, God is giving me the right moments or opportunities or clients to connect with. So it's almost for me, I really believe that when you really learn to love yourself, the truth of how you want to live comes to you. And
Yes.
by living that way, you are always helping people. Always. Whether you're the CEO, whether for me, you're the guy who cleans the park. You know, no one wants to be that guy.
Yeah.
The guy who takes the trash from the park. You know, who wants to be that guy as a life? Do any of you want to be that guy? No, you don't
No.
want to be that guy. And him
No.
doesn't because he wouldn't have a phone. No one wants to be that guy. But that guy, if you see him with the eyes of love, you're so grateful that when you lie on the grass, there is no trash, there is no crap, there's nothing else. And then you see him as another projection of God. And you're grateful to him.
Yes.
And then you realize this man is giving hundreds of thousands of people in Dubai every day, so much peace and joy in their experience, just because he's happy to do his job.
Yeah.
And when you do that, your whole perspective of life and how you change and help people, it changes. Whether you're the driver, the bus conductor, you're always helping people, always. It's not selfish to help people as being a CEO. It's not. As long as you really love yourself and you know what you want in life.
And
And
you're
you're not doing
grateful.
it to be rich or not doing it to prove something.
Exactly. Like I think that we should be grateful in life
Mm-hmm.
because that's. I think when you're grateful, God don't give you more
Yeah.
abundance, and that's what happened to me. I always was like getting in a level I wanted. I was like, oh no, but I'm not like. I was always comparing myself,
Mm-hmm.
like why I'm not like this other person. Why
Right.
this person have this? Why they have the other? Like I was always like going crazy about that. Like
Mm-hmm.
now I changed. I told you I working a lot on myself, but I start to realize that I really need to be grateful
Mm-hmm.
because everything what happened, even the bad decisions, even the bad experience, all these relationships that I had,
Mm-hmm.
I think that if I didn't have this, I I couldn't become the person that
Yeah.
I'm now, because I needed to learn from this abuse, from this
Yeah.
abandonment, from these liars, from
Yes.
these betrayals. Because if I didn't have all of this,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't be the woman
Yes.
I'm now.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand. They always like tell me, oh, why you did that before, why you was
Mm-hmm.
doing that. I was telling them, if I didn't do these things, I couldn't become the
Yeah.
person that I'm right now. And you don't know how I'm gonna become in the future, because
Right.
everything we are like, it's a evolution day by day. So I think that everything happened for a reason. Even that we are here in this,
Yes.
that we met, tell them,
We
in the
met in a
home
coffee
bakery.
shop. Yeah, we met literally in a coffee
And we
shop.
are giving this like conversation to people that
Mm-hmm.
can connect with us.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you, like, because you're the expert on that, like how a person, like I know, I mean, I'm working on that, but how a person can heal these
Mm.
traumas.
So it's really powerful because the traumas or the old stories, they are in everything that we're
Yeah.
doing. Everything. Even the way that you dress is influenced by whether you are afraid of being rejected or you're free and don't care, you know?
Yes, exactly.
So it's in everything, but it's especially in how you try and earn love. For anybody listening, I would give you, can I give them a little exercise?
Yes.
Yeah? I think this would be great for your content
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
you know, like, so I'll give you guys an exercise. I want you to take a sheet of paper and I want you to just divide it into two parts. I give this to my clients all the time. Take a sheet of paper, divide it into two parts. On the left side of the sheet of paper, I want you to write down, what do you want in your life? What do you want from a partner? What do you want maybe from your job? Whichever one that you're thinking of. Just write it down for yourself. What do I want? Or even better is, what do I need in my life? um, the best way to find that answer is to think about what you don't have. Like if you're having a bad relationship, then obviously you want to write, I need a healthy relationship. If you have someone who doesn't take care of you, abuses you, you want to have someone who makes you feel safe and loved, whatever. Now you write that down on the left side, spend some time just reading that stuff that you've written down, what you need. And then on the right side of the sheet of paper, I want you to write, how can I learn to give this to myself? Now, this sounds simple, but it's extremely complicated at the same time because we are so attached as human beings to wanting to get the idea of love and healing from someone else. When I feel rejected, I want someone else to love me, then I feel I'm happy, right?
Yes, exactly.
So if I feel like I'm going to be abandoned, I want someone else to choose me, then I feel okay.
Yeah, or you feel, or you find a replacement.
Yes, exactly. And the replacement works for a little
Yeah,
while, but
yeah.
the same thing happens.
Yes.
So the only way to really solve it is actually by going in deep into your own body, your mind, your experience to understand, how can I start to do this for myself? So this is a true story. When I was in my 20s, I had a pattern of being attracted to older women who had kids, and this happened for
Wow.
many years, many years. And my wife is probably smiling in the back, but it's true, you know, and she
Yeah.
knows, everybody knows this. But I kept picking this pattern over and over again. And my friends kept telling me, like, Yats, dude, like, what's up, man? Like, you're not gonna fall in, like, they're not gonna love you back. You can't be in a relationship with them, none of that stuff. And I said, no, man, you don't understand. Love has no age, and, you know, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
It started to get worse until one point it was someone who had kids and was married. You know, each time it gets worse. Your
Yeah.
pattern gets worse until you wake up.
Yes.
And so finally I sat with myself. This happened for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And I sat with myself and I was like, man, what do I want in life? I want to have kids.
Yeah.
I want to have someone who chooses me. I want to build my life with someone. I want someone who's flexible, can travel with me everywhere. Then I looked at, what do I have? Is that it? No. It was not anything that I wanted. Same case with you, as you talked about. You wanted love. You wanted someone to support you and lift you up.
I.
And then
Uh-huh.
when you look, for example, at that story of when that guy was sick, right?
Yeah.
There are so many times in our life we have the opposite of that. So that's actually such a good reflection point to say, then, okay, if what I want is here and what I'm getting is here, how can I bring these two closer? How can I bring what I want and what I'm getting to be the same thing? Someone who's loving, supportive, whatever. You want to say
No, no,
something?
no. I'm thinking what you say.
Okay. So when I use this sheet of paper, I wrote, what do I need?
Uh-huh.
I need someone who I can have a good physical connection with.
Yeah.
I want someone who wants to share their life every day with me. All of those women, they didn't, because they wanted to share it with me, but then they had to go back to their kids or their families or whatever. I wanted someone who I was the priority in their life. But again, all the women who had the kids, of course, their kids are a bigger priority than me, right?
Yeah.
But every day I kept feeling second and third and fourth, so my self-worth was being beaten every day. Then it even got to that point where I want someone to share my bed with me every day. But then again, this woman was also sharing somebody else's bed. So, I wrote all these things and then I said, how can I give it to myself? And I thought and I thought and I thought and I went deep. This is where meditation is powerful, because what meditation does is it slows down your brain. Right now, our brain waves are in an a high beta state, which is like this.
Yeah.
You cannot absorb or change anything under this. You can only react, like we're
Yes,
doing,
yes.
talk. So just before going to bed, or just when you wake up in the morning, is when your brain is naturally slow, because when you're sleeping, it's extremely slow. That's the best time. That's when
So
your
you can, for
subconscious is there.
example, put like these like audios in the night that say to you nice things and sleep
Yes.
with it.
You can, but you have to be in the right position to do it. Let's say, for example, you're going through a shitty thing in your life and you're angry or you're upset, and you put the audio, but you're focusing on Instagram or you're upset or something. Your brainwave is still like this.
No,
Survival.
if you're sleeping.
It's difficult, because when you're sleeping also, your subconscious mind doesn't just listen to what you're saying. It goes inside, not outside. So if you look at all our senses, right, your eyes look outside, your ears hear outside, right?
Yes.
Your skin is facing outside, not
Yeah,
inside.
no.
Because when you're awake, our bodies are designed to be outside. But when you're asleep, do you know what you're listening to?
No.
Do you look at anything?
No.
Do you even feel anything?
No.
Exactly, because your experience goes inside. So all the information is on inside now. It's very difficult to give yourself information when you're sleeping. Otherwise, you would have all figured out the thing, plug in your headphones, and your life will be great. So during the day, you feed yourself information, but in the night, your subconscious mind absorbs it. So just before you go to sleep, just when you wake up is good, but meditating is the best way to do it.
Yes.
So I used to meditate every morning, slow down my brain waves, and I said, what do I want? I want someone to be physical with me, to love me. So then I used to close my eyes. I could, with my hands, your hands are so powerful. I used to feel my hands running all over my body and feel as if this was the love of someone who loved me, that they would touch my face and they'd be like, you're so beautiful. And then they'd touch my shoulders and my arms. And it looks stupid and creepy because you want someone else to do it. But every day when I did it, my hands started to feel love and they started to radiate love through me. I said, I want to share my day with someone every day. So I used to go on walks with myself and I used to talk to myself.
Wow,
And I
that
used to
sounds
say,
amazing.
look at the birds, see how beautiful they are. And I used to talk to myself as if a loving wife or partner was talking to me. And my dad never did that. My mom also didn't do that. They didn't have time for me to do that, which is why I had my pattern, right? Another big one was I love food so much. And I wanted a woman, a loving woman, to nurture me. My best way to be nurtured is to be someone to cook for me.
So you was cooking for yourself.
Yes. So I literally, when we cook for ourselves, when you have to survive, you're basically like you buy shitty groceries, you do something fast, and then you watch TV and you eat. I had to change it. If I loved someone or someone loved me, they would not just cook me something shitty and do it, right? They'll buy nice groceries, buy a bottle of wine, they'll talk to me while they're cooking, they'll take their time. Wow. So I didn't even, at this point, I didn't have money, I didn't have a job. I took money out to buy nice groceries, bought a beautiful bottle of wine, put on music. I bought myself an apron like a loving woman, would have. And I used to cook beautiful things. And I swear I actually did this exercise. When I finished, I would take the plate, I would plate it beautifully, and I would say, "This is for you, my love. I made this for you because I know you love this food and you're really going to enjoy it."
Wow.
And I'd put it down on the table. She knows the story.
Yeah.
And I'd put it down on the table. And then I'd run to the other side of the table, take off the apron, and I'd imagine I'm me again. And I would say,
Wow.
"Wow, thank you. You made this for me." And then I tasted, "Oh my God, it's so good. You're such a good cook." That became the best way I love myself. Even now, at home, at least once a week, I cook for the family. And I don't let anyone come to the kitchen, nothing, because I cook and I love it. It feels like I'm in love, in that moment. All these things, it did two important things for me. It broke that pattern. I never wanted to go back anymore. I just looked at those women and I found them unattractive. And the reason I wanted them was because they represented a mother figure that I wanted, my own mother, to love me. My mother had so many kids before me and she didn't have the energy for me to love me and take care of me. So I looked at all of these older women and I thought, oh my God, maybe if you love me, it'll prove to myself that my mom really does love me or should have loved me. Which is the same reason
Same as
maybe.
me, but you know what happened that uh, I'm really even shy to say it because
Don't.
it's not
Trust
something
me,
I'm proud. It's
your
not
secrets are
something
your truth. I promise
I'm
you.
not something I'm proud of it. But I never dated a married guy, and this last person was married,
Okay?
and I don't know why I did this. I think I wanted to be chosen.
Yes,
So I think
exactly.
that the fact that I couldn't have it, I think that that's what
Yes.
makes me want it
To
more.
prove
I was
yourself.
like, let's try, because
Yeah.
I was always being in a normal relationship, like with my partner,
Right.
everything. And this time, like, I was like, what's happening to me? And this relationship got me so
Yeah.
addictive, and but is I think is one of the best that teach me the most.
Yes. And that's why it happened. You know, you.
I will never do it again.
No, and even if you do, it's okay
No.
because no, no, I'll tell you why. Listen to me. Our job as human beings
Yeah.
is not to judge ourselves and say that, oh my God, I did this, I'm terrible. Like I
Yeah.
talk so easily about my sex addiction. I'll be honest with you, also, I cheated on one partner almost 30 times.
Wow.
And at that time, I was so ashamed of myself. I looked at myself and I was like, I'm so disgusted by who you are.
Yeah.
I had 2 years of so much depression, terrible stuff. I went into this pattern. And then I decided to do one thing. I said, you know what? Instead of me judging this guy, let me try and understand who he was. So I took a book and I penned and I said, and I wrote, why did I want to be, why did I want to cheat on my partner? Why did I cheat on my partner? And the best question, who was I when I cheated on her? Now, the first question, and this same question for you, who was I when I chose this guy and stayed in the relationship? And in the front part, you will first find out I was like 20 something years old, I did this, I did that. But then as you go deeper, you'll realize I was alone. I really wanted to be loved. I really wanted to be chosen. And you may find different answers, deeper answers.
I don't know what was happening in my mind, but I think that I wanted to feel protected for someone that can provide me a status. You know, like I was feeling. Yeah, I was like, oh, this person like came like with all like impressed me so much.
Uh huh.
So for me, I was like because my dad when I was kid he was impressing me, but after like when he left,
Yeah.
I was like reconnecting all this again, and I was just coming from other relationship that
Right.
was. I told you I didn't want to leave also this relationship because this person was always
Wealthy or.
depressed,
Right.
and you know when I tried to leave him, he wanted to kill himself and all these things like. So I was like, you know, I want something new. I need to go. So I
Right.
think that I didn't know what I was doing, so I just jumped to other relationship.
Right.
First time I was in a relationship like that was a lot of emotions, adrenaline, this, that. So I was thinking that uh, I reopened the scenario of my dad. I see on him a dad. I was
Yeah.
like, I have my dad again.
Exactly. And this time you want him to choose you because by him choosing you, your subconscious mind, the inner child, that little girl says, Papi
Yeah.
finally chose me. He stayed.
Yes.
That's my point. Is to understand who were you and who you were when you chose this guy as well was still just a little girl who wanted her dad to choose her. Now, when you take that story, right?
Yeah.
And you put a little girl, a little Ana Paula sitting here with a little hair, and maybe she had like those little in Mexico, how they put them in those like, those plaits. She's
Yeah, yeah.
sitting here. and she's saying to you, I just want my papi to love me. Can you be angry with her for doing something wrong?
No.
Exactly.
That's why I don't judge myself, because
Yes.
I told you I work with my inner child, and I know that my inner child was very hurt
Yeah.
for all what happened with my
Exactly.
dad. And my dad also was a person like you before. He wanted always to go with older women. So he was always telling me, "Oh no, I like older woman, like woman with kids, woman that was." So all these, I got it in my mind,
Right.
and I block it till one day open and look. I have this experience, but I learn a lot from all of this, because now, like I told you, I did this exercise. I do mirror exercise, so I talk to
Nice.
myself. So now I know what I want, and I'm really of course I still working on myself, but I know what I want, and I'm happy to see that I can create the life I always wanted,
Yeah.
in a person that truly loves me, and a person
Yes.
just for me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this because this is the last relationship. I can tell you about my other past relationship was like a lot of abuse and narcissistic also. Mostly I grew up seeing my dad always saying to my mom, "You're fat, you're ugly,
Yeah.
you're this." So I always choosing people that was always telling
Critical
me,
and
"You have
narcissistic. And,
even a nail. Your nail is not good. Your teeth are not good.
yeah.
Change this, change that, change this." I change it now. So now every time someone tell me
Yeah.
something, I just can
I'm
explode.
out of
I
here.
tell them, "Halas, bye."
Right.
It's finito.
Right.
I give okay second chances, but
Yeah. No.
after that it's over.
Right.
But this I work on it, so now I don't allow this.
Yeah.
But before was this patron, these people, always partners that was telling me, "You're not good enough. Why you don't have six pack? Why you don't have
Yeah.
this? Why you have?" Like I had a relationship. I have just five relationships, but this one, he's European also, and he was really like all the time telling me that I was not good enough, and he was always comparing me with his ex-girlfriend or with other woman. No, why you don't have like this body? You don't have training body. You don't have fit body. But anyway, like when I start to see what was the reason that he was telling me these things, was one, because I grew up seeing that, and second, because he is not secure on himself. So
Exactly.
he's trying to project his
Exactly.
insecurity
Otherwise,
on me.
he'll just choose someone else, right? He can just choose someone who
Why
is
you're with
that.
me if
Exactly.
I'm not,
Exactly. But it's rather choose you, and he would rather make you feel bad than make himself feel responsible to do
Yes.
something. Actually, that's a really interesting thing that we have as human beings. And, I want to go back to a point you were saying where you said that it's something I don't want to talk about, or I'm kind of ashamed of, or whatever else. And naturally, because you and your job and your profile and everything else, of course, this is not something that you want to be happy, open to talk about.
No, it's fine.
But it is something beautiful, is that if you can show that you're learning from it, other people love to learn from you too. And so your secret can become your power.
Of
And
course.
that's one thing. And the second thing I wanted to say, especially when a woman falls in love with a man, and it's a healthy man, and they get what you want, because you said you're working on those things, those manifestations and all of that, the
Yeah.
affirmations, you may realize that when you start falling in love with your life or yourself, that your life itself may change. Your priorities may change. The things that you want, the type of man you're looking for, they may evolve because you are evolving. And it's something that I think people are sometimes afraid to realize when they live in, like, not you, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like people in big cities or big places, because they're like, I used to think I wanted to be the top X entrepreneurs in my life, because I didn't know why, but I was like, I have to work like that, hire a team, do all of that. Because I didn't even realize, subconsciously, I was trying to prove to my dad that I was still someone worthy.
Yeah.
I could be this way. And then, like I said, last year when something changed, now I don't even talk about my business to anybody. I don't care, whatever, and I'm on my own. But I'm so happy and in love with life, and I'm doing better than I was doing before. So it's a weird thing to say that even the type of men and the things that you seek in your life, they may change as you evolve. As you evolve, they may evolve.
You know what happened to me also? I will tell you, because this is very interesting. I was always the type of person that I should broke up with my exes, and after 1 2 3 years, 1 year, they always come back.
Mm,
They wanted to get me back again,
yeah.
and I was always giving chance. Like I was like, okay, this time, what you think about giving second chances to a relationship that didn't work? But if the person changed, what do you think about that?
That's a really interesting question. I don't necessarily believe in that personally because like for neuroscience, for the sake of
Yeah.
science itself, there is a reason that that person didn't work out for you, right?
Yeah.
And on the spiritual level, God is trying to tell you move forward. There's a reason we have two eyes in the front of our head, not in the back of our head. There's a reason we can run so far forward fast and you can't run backwards fast. There's a reason cars also move forward faster than they go backwards. Our whole life is designed to grow. A plant doesn't grow downwards, it grows upwards. So
Yes.
the intention is that if you've moved past an ex or something, or you've broken up with them, it's extremely hard because we want the ex because of comfort and familiarity.
Yeah.
But we also choose to go back when we don't believe we can have something better. That is the ultimate reason why most people choose their exes. Because deep down inside, they don't believe, deep down inside.
That
They'll
you
say,
can
no,
have.
no, no, I'm choosing because he's good, man, he's getting better and all that. But deep down inside, they don't believe they can do better.
Wow.
And so that's why they do that. If your bones, if your cells, if your nervous system believed you do deserve better, you would not even attract the ex reaching out to you. I don't have any exes ever reaching out to me. And it's not because of my wife. It's
No,
just because, and earlier it may seem like, oh, it's because maybe I'm not attractive or appealing to them. It's because my energy has drawn a boundary. Khalas, I deserve better, not than them, than who I used to be. So why do I want to go back to who I used to be just so I can be with them, even if they are better? I deserve to be better than who I was.
true.
So my cells in my body, if they start feeling that, you don't even attract opportunities. Forget entertaining opportunities. Don't even attract them. So for me, generally, I tell people like when they ask me about going back to my ex, that's how I feel very strongly.
It's
Now,
like,
but if you're in a relationship with someone and they do something wrong or we make
no,
mistakes, that's a different
I
thing.
mean that takes so long time, like 2, 3 years, and after they come back and
No,
they
no, no.
tell you, let's marry and stuff. So
No,
I,
and that also you have to be very careful of because what typically happens there, and I'll predict the journey because it's my job to predict patterns. They'll come back, the same story. They love bomb you, show you fancy things, be a good person for a few months, and then go back to the same way they were. Not because they're assholes, but because also given them permission to be an asshole
yeah, you're
again.
accepting that they treat you bad. So at this time that you accept that
Yeah,
people treat you bad, you're treating bad yourself.
that's the bigger point.
So you're not loving yourself.
Exactly, that's more important. You know,
That's really deep.
I
Wow.
know.
So we do the questions.
I also have a question. Sorry about the sunset. If it's okay, do you think we'll be able to?
Sí, pero it's out.
Yeah, I think it's done now. And what about his iftar and stuff as
We
well?
go. We go and we see it.
Yeah, we can also come back if you need for if you have any questions. I mean, we can come back and we can wrap it up just before we leave.
You can have a look at some of the questions, but I think you covered most of
Yeah,
it.
we cover. Let's just
But
make
let
the
me
close.
just quickly double check.
Perfect.
But it's really nice. Thursday.
I mean, I thought it would be cool, maybe so you put in the introduction, the meaning behind your username.
Ah, okay, yeah,
Should we do
we
that?
can do that. Yeah.
Anna, can you just ask that quickly?
Yes. What
So
you
just,
said?
exactly, can you explain the significance behind
Yeah.
the name, the inner Yats, right?
Right. Yeah.
Can you please explain me the significance of inner jats? Like, what's the meaning behind it?
That's a beautiful question. So, two things. One is Yats is the short version of my name. The real
Yeah.
name is Yatharth. And
Yeah.
Yatharth means it's a beautiful Sanskrit word. It's the oldest language that there is, or one of them. And my mom gave me this name because it means the true, authentic meaning of a person or something. And she said, you have to live up to this reputation. You have to be really true and authentic. But the other thing is, work I love is inner child work. So I write, the inner Yats is basically, instead of Yats, it's like a play to say the inner child, but also the inner Yats.
Like the one that take care of of your inner child.
Yes, like that. So that's what it is. But I will also say that, like in the last year, I'm going through like a transition. So that even though that is my Instagram or that's my handle, that's my entire business is actually
Yeah.
registered in that name. I want to go back more to just who I am as like the simplicity of it. So now my handle or like even other things is Yats Christian Palat. Christian is my middle name. So
Ah.
that's my new like handle, so to speak. And why I've changed it is because For years while I was growing the Instagram, I was going in this direction where I wanted like the validation, I wanted to have more followers, I wanted to do this just for them and that kind of stuff. And now I want to do things just for me. If I have a thought, I'm going to speak it. You don't like it, that's okay. There's a billion other people to follow. Please follow them. But I don't want from my own self, the desire to say or do things just for followers or an audience. I want to do it because I really believe in it.
Because you feel it to do it.
Yes. So I had to restart because a lot of my old followers from there came from this energy. So I want to do it with this energy. So my new Instagram is Yats Palat. That's the new
So
one.
they can find you like that.
Yes, on both of them, but like the new one is where I preferred because I put more of my energy on there as
More
well.
other kind of energy.
Yes, it's the similar kind of thing of what I do, but I would really say it's just more authentic right now. Right now, I'm just living for my energy, myself, and how I want this to come out to help clients. That's it.
That's amazing. So guys, if you want to heal and you want to have really like a nice deep conversations, you can follow him here. We're gonna put here all his social medias, and I'm really grateful that you
Yeah.
come. Really like, I tell a lot of myself this time. Like I'm always quiet, but I think as you said, is the best thing when you have a thought, like a good thought that can like help other
Yes.
people, just to say it. So I'm not shy, and thank you for
No, of
taking that
course.
out of me for my public. And well, thank you for coming to Your Life Teacher, and we see you in the other episodes. Ciao.